I discovered something 40 years ago, that a bacterial cell wall product was involved in sleep regulation. And it looked like the substance we isolated from brain and also from urine had its origins in gut bacteria. We didn't know that for sure. We still don't know that for sure, but it seems likely given its chemical structure. It's all tied to our bigger interest, which we first published a theory in 1993, talking about how sleep can be a local process in brain. A normal phenomenon in adolescents is sleepwalking. And if you're sleepwalking, you essentially have two states simultaneously. You're awake to the extent that you can navigate objects and not trip over things, but you're asleep because most parents will know if you just shake the kid or talk to the kid, they'll wake up. So they're simultaneously awake and sleep. We proposed this idea that there's local sleep in brain, and then it's controlled by the molecules that we've been dealing with. When we first discovered that the product we had isolated from brain looked like a bacterial product, we had just assumed, because I think if you ask anybody on the street, if you sleep more when you're sick, they'll say yes. But no one had ever measured it. And so we waited several years after our initial discovery before we infected an animal and then saw how their sleep changed. And sure enough, whether we used rabbits or rats, they sleep more. We looked at a lot of different types of infectious agents. We looked at funguses, like protozoans. Sleeping sickness is a protozoan disease. But the species we used that infected rabbits, it underwent an antigenic change as part of its defense every 21 days. Every 21 days you see a spike when the antigenic shift occurs, because every time the protozoan shifted, there was a spike in sleep. And so it said a lot about the molecules we were working about and how infectious diseases are causing sleep. I guess it's an endosymbiosis with the bacteria in our bodies. All mammals depend on that. And so it's a small aspect of the bigger symbiosis that humans have with the world.